Thanks everyone. Thanks for having me and for all the great talks so far. So I'm going to talk a little bit about NF Core pipeline in a client project and some of the synergies involved in that. But first I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are. So I'm part of CS, and it's a global professional services company. And in that, we have an R&D team that works closely with R&D in pharma and large biotechs. And I'm part of CS Discovery, where we work specifically with early R&D, helping the clients improve their R&D capabilities and successes for target discovery, data and knowledge management. And some of the projects that we're working with are drug discovery, target discovery, precision medicine, research strategy and transformation, and then what's probably most relevant for today is the data and knowledge management part of it. So we're part of a global organization. I'm based in Copenhagen, and globally in CS Discovery we have, it says 110. I think we're actually more about 140 at this point, and we are scientists with like many different backgrounds, lots of bioinformatician, engineers, doctors, software developers, and we do still publish together with clients, but also as part of academic partnerships that we are part of, and this is to stay connected to the science and innovation that's going on, and what we also do in order to facilitate this wide range of projects that we're doing with clients. We're bringing additional expertise through different partnerships, and a good example of that is a partnership with Seqera, which is allowing us to more seamlessly implement end-to-end Nextflow solutions for our clients. And that brings me to our use case. So we have an example here of a collaboration between CS and Boehringer Ingelheim, where we worked together on a project, and Boehringer Ingelheim wanted to more seamlessly run their single-cell analysis. They had already decided on using the NF Core single-cell pipeline for obvious reasons. It had a lot of functionalities that they needed, and they saw the benefits of the community and the definitions of the best practices that the NF Core pipeline would ensure. So that was already a good step in the right direction. And the NF Core pipeline does a great job, but there are different scenarios in different institutions, and there will always be custom needs. So when we're working with proprietary or personal sensitive data, you cannot necessarily use all, like, the processes of retrieving data from the NF Core pipelines, and there will be different databases internally that it would need to communicate with. They might also have like some specific customized need for the pipeline itself, and then additionally there can be downstream processes or sending the data to internal customized databases or apps. So they did this in 3 manual steps, but they wanted to run the pipeline on the Seqera platform. And at this point, they could run step number 2, but it was difficult to run everything, and therefore it was not so easy to scale it up or productionize it. So that's where we came in. So for the production, this needed to be transformed into one single process. containing these three different steps. So interacting directly with their internal databases, running then a customized version of the NF core pipeline with some additional analyses, and then uploading the results. And this allowed the users to only interact with the pipeline once when they needed to analyze a data set, which means that they could run everything on the Seqera platform, and additionally, they could instead focus their time on looking at the data and the results that came out of the pipeline. So, and this brings us to one of the main points of how was this actually possible. And here, it was the combination of having like the guidelines and the requirements of having an NF core pipeline, that you know how it's set up. Even if it's updated, you know that it adheres to a specific structure. And together with the modularization that was introduced in DSL2, we could do this combination of the NF core pipeline together with custom adjustments. So basically, the different steps of the pipelines are retrieved from the different modules, and they can be from NF core, or they can be local, or from somewhere else. It doesn't really matter to the pipeline. You just retrieve them, and therefore you can as you need to, and customize it. So this also means that if there is an update or a bug fix in one of the modules, you can create a merge request, in theory, without conflicts. That's a very theoretical scenario. Of course, there will be no, there will always be conflicts, but this way that you can actually see and track where it's going on, and it's actually manageable. So that's makes things a lot easier. So this is like really good for the client. It was really good for us, but is it also actually good for the open source community? Or are we just leeching off of other people's work? I of course say no, we absolutely don't. So before this project, no one from CS had ever contributed to the single-cell pipeline in NF core. And now CS and employees and BI people are actually among the top contributors to the pipeline. So of course, if there's a bug fix that needs to be done, and we're working on the pipeline, we're going to fix it for everyone. It doesn't make sense to only fix it in a local version if we're using a standard module from the pipeline. And this means that the development can happen faster because there's suddenly a company that has an incentive to make it happen, and it's not something that someone has to do off their in their spare time. Yeah, so I would say that this is a very beneficial thing for both the open source community as well as pharma and biotech companies to benefit from this and be able to have even more people testing it and defining the best practices for how to use it both in an academic research setting as well as in a corporate research setting. So in summary for that, like pharma companies should not be afraid of using these. You'll always have customizations, and you'll always do things maybe a little bit differently, but it's all in all a very big benefit to be able to use this together with a large community that supports it. So with that, I will very much like to thank the team at Boehringer Ingelheim for the collaboration and for allowing us to talk about it here, and our colleagues at CS Discovery, especially Felipe, who was the one actually doing the work. And then our people at Seqera for working with us on various issues and challenges, and of course the NF Core people behind the NF Core and the community as a whole. So thank you very much, and yeah, take any questions.
Thank you so much, Anne. It's so great to see the commercial and the industry actually contributing back to the open source, and thanks for spearheading that. We have a question here. Do you plan to work on any of the other NF Core pipelines?
That's a good question. Yes, we do. We do definitely. I think from our part, there's both an aspect of having someone, having our team do it for the practice of it. Like we're expanding our team a great deal, and that also means that there's a lot of people who need to learn. So contributing to the NF Core pipelines will be a good way of actually learning that and learning some of the best practices. And then we also do have plans to contribute in other settings, but I don't think I can reveal at this point which pipelines.
Okay, well, there's a suggestion here from Maxime about Sarek, if you'd like to contribute.
Yes.
And then another question just came through. How do you manage client-specific requests and NF Core community general needs, and how do you, if conflicts develop, or when you develop pipeline, how do you prioritize that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it will not the best person to answer that, but in general, I mean, it will always be a balance, and sometimes it can be obvious that this is something that everyone can benefit from. In other cases, it will be clear that is something that's a very specific case, and then there'll be a lot of gray areas, and in that sense, it would usually be up to the client to be able to determine that. Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much. I don't see any more questions coming through. Let's give it up for Anne again. Thank you.